Powerful beings in Marvel. A man so formidable and intimidating that not even the gods can handle him. Did you realize, though, that he has actually faced Thor directly? In the comic book Siege, Norman Osborn, better known as the Green Goblin, is tasked with leading S.H.I.E.L.D., which he renames Hammer. As you can see, after the alien Skrulls arrived on Earth, their queen led the invasion. And so the heroes tried to stop them. But the final lethal shot was fired by Norman Osborn. Because every news network was broadcasting it live, people all over the world began praising him as Earth's savior and a man who achieves. Enraged by Tony Stark, the government replaced him with Osborn. Norman quickly put together the Dark Avengers, a gang of criminals and murderers posing as heroes. Among them were Daken as Wolverine, Venom as Spider-Man, and Bullseye as Hawkeye. But in this instance, his body is controlled by the emptiness, its malevolent and destructive alter ego. So he is not the hero we know. Now that he has the Dark Avengers under his leadership and the backing of the U.S. government, Osborn is aiming for Asgard because he believes that nothing will establish his supremacy more than proving that he can destroy gods. That's what we always knew would happen. He is also being controlled by Loki at the same time. Furthermore, at this point in Marvel's evolution, Asgard isn't even in its own dimension. Given that Thor rebuilt it on Earth after it was destroyed in Ragnarok, and that it is currently hovering over a small Oklahoma town, it is the perfect target for Norman. When Norman first asked the government for help, they refused, saying that the idea of going to war with Asgard was absurd. In response, Loki proposed holding an occasion that would alter the perception of the Asgardians among the general population. Volstagg, an Asgardian warrior and Thor's comrade, is then seen riding his horse. According to Loki, Volstagg is now touring America and is a powerful fighter with a big heart. As a result, they decide to set him up and order a group of criminals to attack him in public. Volstagg manages to fend off their assaults, but when he looks up, he sees that the stadium has caught fire from their attack. Norman immediately blames Asgard and calls the president. Loki immediately congratulates him and claims that he now has the perfect excuse to launch an attack. Bring the Avengers and the entire initiative together. They're invading Asgard. Norman immediately begins devising his plan, even making an effort to recruit Ares, the god of war. Ares firmly refuses, saying that Norman will die if he approaches the Asgardian gods, who are his allies. Norman tricks Ares into thinking that Loki now rules Asgard and has sinister intentions, and Ares reluctantly joins his crew. Many of his Dark Avengers immediately reject his plan after he explains it to them, saying that the assault on Asgard is absurd. Being a superhero is one thing. To oppose Thor's family is another. Are you afraid? Adam is terrible, and so should you. Someone is lying if they say otherwise. Norman, however, threatens to put them in jail and reminds them that many Dark Avengers joined him to avoid going to jail. He continues by saying that if they do this for him, they will all be released. Warriors, the invasion of Asgard thus starts soon after this, along with some more recruiting. Norman glances up to see Thor approaching, who promptly lunges for him before Sentry comes and stops him. Norman instantly tells everyone to strike Thor with everything they have, as he fights to rise. Thor, however, keeps up with their attack and just questions how they dare to invade his house. We can see that everything is being aired live at the same time. At that point, we see Captain America witnessing the event. God of War, explain yourself, Ares. As Ares keeps battling, Heimdall shows up and explains that Osborn has fooled and manipulated him. He exhorts Ares to contemplate the harm he has done to his own companions. And as he does, Ares quickly understands his severe miscalculation. Osborn declares Thor under arrest while he lies bleeding and bruised, unable to move. However, just as Maria Hill, a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, arrives to their help, a rocket smashes into Osborn and his men, destroying them. She has been caring for Tony Stark, who is still recuperating from his wounds, after fighting Osborn in a previous suit weeks prior, as we find out at that moment. Thor falls to his knees after punching them away. They hurriedly flee when Maria shoves him into the back of the truck. Captain America can no longer watch helplessly, so he decides to take action on his own initiative. He declares that it is time to take back the country. He was addressing both the real Avengers and other well-known heroes, as we find out at the conclusion of his speech. You lied. Ares manages to reach Osborn in the interim. I did what I had to do to fight you. And when Ares tries to kill him, Sentry shows up. Ares tries to get up and tell Sentry that he thinks they were friends, but Sentry is so overcome by the emptiness that he doesn't even respond. Ares tries to defend himself, but it doesn't work. Sentry then grabs Ares by the throat and kills him. Now standing, Thor tells Osborn that he will not hide from other superheroes who try to approach him. After that, Osborn orders Sentry to kill Thor, but when Osborn looks up, he feels something. And slowly, we see Captain America's shield move straight up to his head. The Avengers gather. A tremendous battle breaks out between the real and fake heroes. But as everyone fights today, how many gods will I have to kill? Thor uses his hammer to hit Sentry, but as he leaps to hit again, he notices that Sentry's body is twisted and that emptiness is bursting from him. Osborn starts attacking the captain, but while Tony Stark stands there declaring that the armor Osborn took from him will be turned off as soon as Captain hits Osborn with his shield, they both look up. As Tony shuts his suit, Osborn falls to his knees and begs Sentry to stop them all. Sentry then quickly leaves Thor and annihilates Asgard. You're under arrest, Osborn. Osborn gets up, tears off his disguise, and transforms into a green goblin and yells at them. Will you stop talking? Demands Spidey, who is unconcerned. Osborn falls, rambles, and threatens to kill them all while Thor tries to learn more about Loki. But Osborn interrupts again, telling them to look up and declaring that they are all now dead, because the heroes are all destroyed at one strike by the Void. As his father watches, Loki attempts to speak to him, admitting that he realizes his error and that he had no idea how strong the vacuum could become. To enable everyone to battle him, he employs the Stones of Norn, which greatly boost everyone's abilities. The Void tells each hero that their fight is unjust once they attack it. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Loki moves closer. But everyone is blasted away by the emptiness as his strength is released. Thor watches, apologizes, and dies while Loki looks at him. As the heroes try to stop the emptiness, the captain locates Osborn and asks him what they can do to stop him. But Osborn tells him that they have no control. However, Tony then declares that he has a plan, and tells everyone to exit the helicarrier that is passing overhead, since he is turning it into a bullet. After the explosion diverts Captain Osborn, Osborn has an opportunity to escape, but Volstagg captures him. As the dust settles, Thor and Iron Man turn to face the blast site and see Sentry. Now only Bob, lying there. Did I do this? Yes, Bob. Please, please, will you kill me? Thor tells Bob they won't, but Bob begs them with tears in his eyes. Bob is once more overpowered by the emptiness and lets off a devastating explosion as Thor reassures him that he will still be held responsible for his transgressions. Thor reacts instantly, reaching for his hammer and driving it into the void till he perishes. Without a word or hesitation, Thor lifts Bob's body and transports it into space. The last panels depict Thor standing near the sun and silently releasing Bob's body into its scorching heart.